Greetings in the name of Yahuwah and His Son Yahushua Mashiach. My name is Malak Shelomoh, and I'm gonna do a little trade setup here on the 1 hour chart, starting from the 1 hour chart where I have these weekly levels. So let me just start with the Camarilla levels. Right, so we have prior Camarilla R3 here. It moved up. Let's see. Hold on. Right, so it moved up to this level here at 5,016.48. Camarilla S3 also moved up above prior Camarilla R3 and is now at 49.44 right there. So let me just point out, today I had a really bad trade. Kind of contemplated quitting as well too, because I kind of went against this setup that I was looking at yesterday. And let me just throw on the central floor pivots so you can see the kind of setup I was looking at. Now this level here, or this, let me just point this out here real quick. Let me just throw that on. All right, so this right here is the weekly central floor pivot, that blue line right there. It's at 49.48. Camarilla S3 is at 49.44. So I call that it's really a golden pivot zone. Any two pivots with the central pivot in it is called a golden pivot zone. And I just called it a golden top zone because golden pivots are for basically like intraday. So this is a weekly level. So I kind of changed up the name to differentiate between weekly and intraday, right? So this was the morning sell-off candle. Came down, wicked out below Camarilla S3 and closed right there on Camarilla S3, right? Now the reversal candle came, wicked down below Camarilla S3 a little bit and pushed up off of that level. So this whole zone right here was basically a support level. And I was looking at that yesterday, and man, I got so mad at myself because I started to try and fade this for a continuation. Like I woke up late. I was tired, and by the time I jumped in to the trade, by the time I got to the desk, this was already happening. So I was looking for continuation, and really the day before or the night before, I was looking at this as this is a solid support area. So if we do get any kind of reversals out of this range, you should probably look for like some bullish action back into the range and probably break above these levels here, right? So didn't do that. Kind of got led by price action, started to fade it right here as it was showing some signs of like a little rejection here on the 5 minute, looking for continuation, and that never happened. Got squeezed and basically crushed, right? So I had to reset my accounts, my Apex accounts. I blew them and stuff. So I really messed up today, man. I really thought about quitting. I was like, man, this is some bullshit because I keep messing up this stuff, right? And I'm preparing in advance, creating all these levels, seeing where there's support, and I'm still doing this bullshit by trying to fade that. So I don't know, man. I gotta get it together. You know what I mean? This psychologically, this is it be messing you up sometime. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of shook that off, you know, like I was saying in the Discord, premium tier futures. I might put a Discord link, and I was saying that, you know, I think I'm gonna quit, man. You know what I'm saying? Because this shit here is messing with my head. You know what I'm saying? It's getting me real mad. It's throwing me off, you know. So I kind of shook that off. So just doing this trade setup for the next day. You know what I'm saying? It's another day. Gotta just brush that off and take the loss and just move on, you know what I'm saying? So, right, so we got that set up here. This is gonna be support for the entire week, right? because this is always going to be there until Friday. So any pullbacks to this level here is a support level for me anyway. And this is also the POC level on the weekly. Hold on. Let me just take this off. Right. So this is also the POC level, and value area high is close to the weekly POC level as well. So anything above this, we're looking for higher value, right? Right. So today let's see, we opened this session here in the ETH, we opened, and now we're pushing back up. We're getting a little rejection here off the weekly TC, weekly top central, and we got to see if we could recover and get above this level here, which was the high of the ETH open yesterday, which is approximately, let me see, 49.8075. Yeah. So 49.8075 is the level to break. We gotta push back up. Make sure we stay above this market profile value area high on the weekly and push up from this level. The value area high on the weekly is 49.6125. So let's see what kind of intraday pivot levels we have on the 5-minute chart. And just throwing on the VWAP bands. This is a second upper deviation band, so that'll create a lot of resistance. If you look back, you can see around this band here is creating resistance. Price always runs into that and kind of pulls back. Right, so we got to break above that level, and that's at 49.9119 right now. Right, so on the 5-minute chart, let me just go over this again. Let's see, this is the 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. candle. Push down. I was trying to fade it from around this level here. When we started to get that kind of back and forth, those kind of doji candles, that's what kind of chopped me up, right? So I eventually got squeezed, and I think I tried to jump in here again at the POC area, the weekly POC. We got some resistance there, thought that was going to work. Doji candles, thought that was going to work to the downside, continue down, and never happened. Big squeeze, support, squeeze, and you can see the buying is looking a certain way, like it's slow. It's looking like it might reverse. Those candles aren't too big. They're looking like some small doji candles, looking like we're running out of steam. Right? We even getting some big drawdowns here. Right? This big wick, this buying wick right here. So these candles kind of threw me off for real. Like I got stuck in trying to fade it. Right? So I should have knew better, because from here was the golden top zone. Getting these candles here is very telling, you know. So they're coming in, but then they're not following through big on every move, but they are staying in there and propping up price, right? And I keep looking for what I'm looking for, which is I'm seeing this and I'm seeing that and I'm seeing those little candles, and that's causing me to think, yeah, we're gonna get the fade, and got squeezed. So let's see here, throw on some pivot levels. Let's see what's the central pivot looking like. But Before that, let me just look at the daily market profile levels. Right, so that's basically the profile for yesterday or today. So this is the value area high right there. Right, so I put my horizontal line, labeled it, so I can see it in the next session. This is the POC level, labeled it as well. So value area high is at 49.7550, POC is at 49.6750, and value area low is at, let's see here. Right, so that's 49.6250, right? And I have the prior day, which is Friday, that's also labeled as well. So that's showing me if we have an inside value or higher value. So this was Friday's value area high, which is higher than prior day's today's value area high that was created. So it's basically on a inside value day, right? So let me just show you here. Friday's value area low, value area high. We're now inside value in a much narrower range, right, compared to this range here. So that's kind of signifying like we could possibly get a breakout. It's easy to seek higher or lower value because the value area range is kind of small, right? So we could easily break above value area high or break down value area low. So actually looking at it right now, so we're just around value area low, trying to get back into this value area. We open below value, which is not a good sign. We open below value, and now we're trying to get back into the value area and possibly get to the other side. So the first resistance is going to be this POC area, and then we gotta attack value area high at 49.7550, right? So with that said, I want to see price open tomorrow above value area low for continuation, right? So if we open somewhere around here, so we can attack the value area high. Now, if we open below this value area low here, then we could be looking at some rejection of value and head into the downside, right? So I'm gonna be mindful of that setup as well, but really I'm bullish, so really trying to stick to the long side. I don't know why I tried to fade today. That was kind of crazy, man. So let's see, this is the central pivot. And actually the central pivot is in a lower value relationship. So let me just point that out. Right, so that's the top central from Friday or yesterday, sorry. I mean today actually, because we're in the ETH open here, right? This was today's session. Right, so top central, central pivot, and this was the bottom central pivot, that green line, dark green line. So now for this session here, we have a much narrower range. This is the bottom central. That's the pivot there. Bottom central is at 49.5925. Central is at 49.6025. And TC is at 49.61. Right? So we open within range. but it's in a lower value relationship. So this is bearish, right? And we open with bearish acceptance. Now that's a little tricky as well, where this could be like a change of character happening. This is an early change of character, right? Because the central pivots are opening lower and we accepted that open, right? I mean, the central pivot range is lower than the previous session and we open within that range. So we're accepting that bearish kind of sentiment. Now, as the ETH is progressing, we're moving above that level, but this is a indication of a change in character. So I have to be mindful of rejections now and pullbacks, right? Because this is a bearish setup in the CPR, central pivot range. So that's something to take note of. This could be like a change of character right there, and the leading indicator of these central pivot range, sometimes they show you that just from how the configuration is from the prior session. So looking at the Camarilla setup right here, this is also in a overlapping lower value relationship. So this is also signaling, because hold on. That's today's session, Camarilla R3, which it depends on what time you're looking at this video. So on the 5th, that was the Camarilla R3. On the 6th, Camarilla R3 moved down. Camarilla S3 was here, it also moved down, right? So it's an overlapping lower value relationship because Camarilla R3 did not move lower than the 5th Camarilla S3. So this is kind of showing like it's really, if we stick to resistance below Camarilla R3 in the RTH open, we could be looking like looking at a change of character and some pullback, right? So, but to keep in mind here, Camarilla S4 is lining up with that golden top zone on the weekly. So this is a major buying level here. So even though we get some selling, we could get to Camarilla S4 and get major support for the up run. So to me, let's see how I'm gonna play this. Right, so central pivots, Camarillas is on, and we have the POC levels, right? So basically I'm still bullish. But I would want to see some buying at possibly Camarilla S3. Right, so if price comes down to this level, gets like a reversal, I would want to get a long entry right here above Camarilla S3 and possibly get to Camarilla R3 or value area high, right? So that's one setup right there, risking 4 points, trying to get up to Camarilla R3. So let me just be conservative, put it at R3. So 23 points. If I could get that move, right? Now, let's see what's another long position. If we do get down to this golden top zone, let me go back to the 1 hour. Right, so this is the 10 a.m. 1 hour candle. Remember, I showed you the central pivot 49.48. Weekly Camarilla S3 is at 49.44. So we could get another retest of that level. Anything around this area here is a buy. So let's see. On the daily chart, that lines up with, it's actually above Camarilla S4. So anything around that weekly level, I'm looking for buys around 49.44. or just above, right? So that's basically kind of lining up with Camarilla S3 as well, because Camarilla S3 is at 49.50, right? And central pivot weekly is 49.48. So anything in this area here, I'm looking for that strong reversal like it did today. That's if we come down to that level. So that's basically the same setup right there. There's no really big difference. Anything in this area here, Camarilla S3 or just below at 49.44 is a buy area for me, right? So now let's see if we do open, let's say above weekly value area high, this could also be a buy right here, right? So if we come up here, we retest in the RTH open, I want to take a buy somewhere around this level, risking 4 points. Right, entry here above value area high on the weekly, and try to get to Camarilla R3 and possibly higher. Maybe even take out yesterday's high at 49.8075, right? So that's also a target area, yesterday's high, right? So Camarilla R3 yesterday's high, Camarilla R4 could be a target area as well, depending on if we get like a trended move or not. And yesterday's session, it wasn't basically it wasn't a trend day, it was like a reversal. It trended back up in a reversal, but there was no real new value established, right? So in a trend day, I want to see new value established. So we basically had like a ranging kind of day. So maybe after a ranging kind of day, we could have another trending kind of day. And let's see if we do open really bullish, like let's say in the ETH, we move up to above Camarilla R3 or just above. Could possibly, I'll wait to see price accept above Camarilla R3, maybe retest, consolidate a little bit to take a buy from around this level here at probably value area high, right? And get like a long off of that. Like something like this. Right, and we could look for a play like at R1. Yeah, so we could look for to get like maybe 15 to 16 points from value area high to get to like floor pivot R1 at 49.9150. So that's basically my setups. I'll be looking for any kind of rejection though, like if you, like I'm seeing this change of character, but if I'm getting rejection, I want to take shorts like probably at Camarilla R4 or maybe value area high. So if we see that we're not breaking above this level, then I could see that the Camarilla setups is actually creating that resistance, and you know it foretold the change of character because it's in an overlapping lower value. Central pivot is in a lower value, so it's kind of suggesting bearishness. So I want to take the short from a high level. I don't want to take it from like a breakdown of the CPR, because the actual support is right here at 49.44, right, on weekly Camarilla S3. So on this trade here, I would want to take this rejection of Camarilla R3, risking 4 points roughly, and try and get back down to like, wait, hold on. Try and get back down to possibly like value area low, which is right there at 49.6250. Right, so any shorts from below Camarilla R3, like at roughly 49.7350 to roughly value area low at 49.6250. And that's basically my setups right there. Not really looking for any crazy moves because price action ranged yesterday. So not sure if it wants to continue yet or if we're actually gonna get this change of character. Now, if we do get this short setup, it's actually going against the trend, so I'm mindful of that too. I don't want to overstay my welcome. The most I would want to get out of a short trade really is to come down to weekly Camarilla S3 at 49.44, which is here, right? And I also want to take profit probably at Camarilla S3 as well at 49.50.50, right? So that's basically lining up with the weekly central pivot, which is at 49.48, right? So anywhere around this level or this range, I want to just take profit and see what price action does from there. If it does break down that level, then fine. If it breaks down, retest, you could enter another short, probably come back down to like 49.32, which is the weekly pivot BC, bottom central weekly pivot. And yeah, that's basically my trade setups, man. I'm doing these videos too to kind of try and hold myself accountable because I'm putting my disgusting trades on YouTube for anybody to say scrutinize, and they can leave comments and stuff and say, man, you're a horrible trader and all that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? So it's a way to kind of try and keep myself accountable and not really kind of trade secluded where I can make mistakes and do crazy stuff and no one is really seeing, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of traders do that, they trade in silence, seclusive, and they mess up and nobody really knows, so I kind of put mine on Front Street. So I hope y'all appreciate that I'm sharing more of my losses as well too, because sometimes I don't usually post the losses, but the prior video you can see I actually labeled it huge loss, and I'm explaining now it was a really bad idea to try and fade like a golden top zone, right? So all right, y'all, so tomorrow is the next day. Those are my trade setups. If the change of character is real and this overlapping lower value Camarilla SR3 provides resistance, we're going to take the short. If it doesn't get above or stays above value area high, if it does get above value area high, we could take a long, see what kind of strength the market has. If we do open around, let's say Camarilla S3, that's a support area right there. We could take a long off of that area, right? And we could also take a long from weekly value area high, right? Because that's a spot where more of the higher time frame players may want to enter to keep the market above last week's value area, so anything above this 49.6125 is basically still bullish. We're still looking for new value, right? So as you can see in the ETH here, We're gaining some ground. We're above value area low. And let's see how we open. Open in the RTH tomorrow. All right, y'all, it's Malak Shelomoh. See y'all tomorrow. And hopefully I don't mess up again, man. You know what I mean? It's time to do some professional trading, man. I can't keep doing this, going off tilt and fading the trend and all kind of craziness like this, man. This stuff gotta stop, you know what I'm saying? All right, y'all. Trade safe and stay blessed.